Hello friends, I am Hardik Patel and you are listening to Arotech channel. Today I am starting a new playlist where I will post videos for updates about Python and technologies around Python. In this video I am going to present new changes in Python 3.9 over Python 3.8. So let's get started. In 9th June 2020 they have announced or they have released Python 3.9 beta version 3. So as you can see, this is the cell where I have installed Python 3.9 beta version 3, and as you can see the date is also 9 June 2020. I have 5 points to show you. So let's go to the first point first. Dictionary merge and update operators. So in this Python 3.9 they have introduced two operators. One is for merging two dictionaries and the second is for updating the existing dictionary. So in the left side of this uh, slide, you can see there are two dictionaries I have here. One dictionary one where I have just name. So I have just put one key, and you can just consider this as a personal information of the person. And the second dictionary is having professional information of the person. Now I want to merge two dictionary. Till now we were using that dict1 dot update, and then you were passing star star dict2, so which was helping to update dictionary 1 with the dictionary 2's details. Now if you want to merge to dictionary, now you just need to pass this operator dictionary 1 pipe dictionary 2, which will merge to dictionary and return the new dictionary. So basically it will not update the dictionary 1 or dictionary 2 anything. It will give you the new dictionary with all the details of the dictionary 1 and dictionary 2. Now on the second side, right side of this slide, you can see same dictionaries 1 and 2, and if now I want to update all the details from dictionary 2 to dictionary 1, so what I need to do, dictionary 1 pipe is equal to dictionary 2. So similar to other operators, here they have also introduced merge and assign. So basically after merging it should be assigned to dictionary 1 itself. So dictionary 1 is having all the details now of the dictionary 1 including dictionary 2's information. So this is the very useful operators which you are going to use whenever you are going to use Python 3.9. Okay, so yeah, that's it from this first slide. Now let's go to the second point. Remove suffix and remove prefix. So this string instance, string object is having inbuilt methods remove suffix and remove prefix, where you can pass the argument whatever prefix or suffix you want to remove from the string. So let's take an example of you are having codes which are written in the string, but it has also uh, both the sides double quote. And now if you want to remove, what I will write the function here, like as you can see there is a first function, as you can see strip codes, and inside that it expects the text which is string object. What I'm going to see, I'll check starts with double quote, then I'll remove it using list slicing, and then second we'll check for the end with, and same I'm going to do with that for the end. And after that, after removing from the start and the end, will return the string. Now after having these two functions, how can we improve this function? You can see the below function which I have written itself. Return text dot remove suffix, and then just pass the suffix which is double quote, and then also I'm further piping with the second function that is called remove prefix, where I'm also passing the double quote where it will remove prefix. So that way you can use this function, and there are many scenarios where you are going where you are already using this starts with and ends with for removing the things. Okay, so yeah, this is very much helpful. Let's go to 3. So it's a graph lib module they have introduced. This is the new module which was not earlier available in the Python 3 or 2 point star. Okay, so what it does, basically you have some list of tasks, and from them few tasks are dependent on other tasks. Then you need to have dependency mentioned somewhere, and then you can use this topological sorter. So here I have for the demo purpose I have created one graph dictionary where you can see task 5 is a key and task 4 and task 3 are the set of two tasks, which is value of the task 5. That means task 4 and task 3 are dependency for task 5. So once and on task 4 and task 3 are completed, then only task 5 can be executed. Okay, same way for task 4 and task 2 can be executed only and only task 1 is completed. For task 3, task 2 should be completed. Okay, so this is how you can create the graph, and there are other methods are also available which you can use for adding the task instead of directly passing the graph. So on the right side you can see I have just created one object topological sorter in which I have just passed graph. Instead of passing the graph, also you can create the blank object, and then you can add ts dot add a node. This is also called a node. In this example I have just used these strings as a task, but you can use anything. This is called a node. Okay, so you can use that node. So after creating this graph, after adding all the nodes, what you need to do, you need to do just ts dot prepare. So it will prepare and give you it will be ready to give you nodes. So once you call this ts dot get ready function, it will give you whatever nodes are available or ready to execute, ready to be executed. It will give you the list, or maybe you can say tuple of the task. So as you can see here, each and every task 2, 3, 4, 5 all are dependent on task 1 or any other task. So task 1 is the only task which can be executed before without dependency. So it gives us task 1. So once that task is completed, you just need to call this function ts.done and then pass that argument task 1. So once you call it, now this topological sorter object knows that task 1 is completed. That means task 2 and task 4 can be executed now. So in the second iteration, when you call this get ready function ts.get ready, which will give you task 2 and task 4. So same way you can go further and further. Once and only this get ready function gives you null tuple, and before that calling this get ready, there is one more method which you can call, that is active. So is active means all the nodes are, any nodes is pending in the graph, it will always give you or tell you that it's true. So there is no worry about calling this get ready function each and every time. So if it is active, then you can call get ready function, and also the dependent whatever dependent tasks were there, it should be executed. Okay, so that's how you can use this graph library. I see this library is very useful, and now you can now you know that how this is implemented. So anyways, you can use in your scenarios wherever you think it is appropriate. Okay, so let's go to the point 4. Zone info is also the new module, which is as you can see I have first line of this code from zone info, import zone info. So this zone info class is inherited, or you can say it's a concrete solution, concrete class implemented inheriting this datetime.tz info abstract class. And now that you can use this zone info object wherever you want to use time zone information. So as you can see, I have taken one example, this from date time, where I am just setting one date time or creating object of any date time calling Asia Kolkata zone info. So here in the third line, you can see I have mentioned zone info in the tz and info argument, and then I have just printed the same object here, and in output you can see zone info dot zone info, and then it is also having key is equal to Asia Kolkata. So basically this is very simple solution which you can use anywhere in the project, and I think each and every project has this used mostly. So yeah, this is very also this is very much useful module, so you can use it. The 5 point, there are certainly they have as I mentioned, two libraries or added by them in the 3.9 version, and 2 3 libraries are updated. okay, and maybe you can say added functions or added features. And this is the libraries which are already existing, and they have just improved them. So as you can see, first is est, which is just evaluating the strings and everything and parsing the values, so which is very useful module. And it has, now it is using now the new parser similar to Python 3.9 is also using. So basically Python 3.9 using the new parser called peg. Initially till 3.8 it was using double L, which is also used in this 3.9 for the backward compatibility, but in the further versions that will be removed. So they are using that peg parser due to the formulation improvements. They can add features very easily, so that's why they are using this peg parser. So async.io, compiler, datetime, GC, in each of this library have something and something improved, or they have added few minor tweaks, minor functions, right? So those are not mentioned here because this is a very large list of libraries where they have improvements. And yeah, they have also have done optimization in the reading and writing operations of the variables, objects, inbuilds. There are so many optimization they have done in this Python 3.9. So that's it from this updates of Python 3.9. For more details, if you want to see more updates about this, as I mentioned in this last slide, there are certainly few libraries which you want to see. Whatever updates are there, you can read this using this link. I'm going to mention this link in the comment section as well. And I hope you have enjoyed it. Please let me know if you find anything interesting around Python. I'll share that in upcoming videos in this playlist. Yeah, and one more thing, please hit the subscribe button and bell icon to get updates instantly. Thank you.